Merylin appeared in a forest hollow, with a large tree trunk as the floor's foundation, surrounded by 9 oak trees with symbols carved into the trunks. Merylin spoke the magic words, Abraxas, and waved his hand. The forest around him creaked for a moment, and one of the trees popped open to reveal a stairway going down underground. Merylin looked around and motioned his hands in front of him. Shaxel in abstracts, he said as he began to shrink down into what looked like a small 2-foot-tall tree sprout with arms and legs. He walked into the stairwell and descended down to the bottom. An armored-looking tree sprout said, "Name and business." Merylin spoke up, Malek of Ilinder, to speak with the Council of Innisland. "It's urgent." Merylin said with anticipation. The guard looked at him and said, "You are in exile. It better be important." Merylin said the highest priority. The guard stepped back and Merylin walked down the hallway to the council chambers. There sat 9 creatures adorned in attire that marked their importance. The council's head speaker said, "Exiled one, what are you doing here?" Merylin spoke quickly. Much had transpired on the surface. The prophecy has unfolded and the chosen warrior walks the living again. The council all gasped in shock. "This is not possible," one of them said. Merylin shrugged off his denial. "Not only that, but the relics in the stone glade have deemed him worthy, and he now wields the sword." A hushed murmur swept over the room. "There is more." Merylin said, "Gadriel of Tartaria, sage of the water temple of the east, has fallen victim to Golgothos and is now his prisoner as he walks the land above, conquering all he sees. The incarnate has met him and refuses to walk his path. I think he may be the one. Also, Gadriel has confessed to having seen the presence of the warrior of the light, watching over this whole event unfolding, and I myself have noticed someone unseen guiding events to unfold as they have." This caused a riot of arguments to erupt between the council members. Shouts of the end being near and pure chaos quickly swept around the room until Merylin held up his hand as chaos spoke through him. "Silence," Merylin said with the roar of 100 lions from everywhere at once. The room quickly went silent. Merylin's eyes were glowing, and there seemed like another person stood around the frame of Merylin's form, making him look like a blurred version of himself. "Good," Chaos said as Merylin gave him a silent thanks. "Now above any other, us pixies need your wisdom, guidance, and leadership to see us through this with sound minds." The council silently acknowledged the being working obviously through Merylin, assuming it was the light warrior himself. "Yes, thank you, Malek." The head council member said, "We must send an envoy to the Sealy Council and convene with the Fae on this matter." They all agreed and then instructed Merylin to return to Arthur and protect him, as he may be their only hope in stopping the Dark One. They revoked his exiled status and made him the official envoy. Merylin left with haste to stand before the council of the enemy of his people. He knew that he must muster every bit of patience and wisdom he could, for he had learned firsthand how the Fae enjoy instigating problems and then patronizing the pixies when they push back, calling it unbefitting behavior and things a true full-blooded Fae would never do. Merylin thought to himself, "Hypocrites." He took a deep breath and opened the portal into the Sealy court. The Fae were in mid-discussion about a subject when a crackle of portal magic broke the meeting into a silenced disbelief. Merylin stepped through and the Fae High Sage immediately recognized who it was. "You, Merylin, you dare transport into our hallowed meeting place. You, an exile." Merylin held up the envoy sigil given to him by the Council of Innisland. "I am no longer an exile, but have been advanced to the rank of envoy. I come by command of the council themselves." The entire courtroom erupted into arguments and shouts asking if he has come to declare war on them. Merylin choked back the urge to squash their attitude with a quick bolt of lightning. "No, you old gizzard, I bring news of your daughter Gadriel. She has fallen prisoner to the Dark One, Golgothos. One of the council sages warned, don't speak his name in these hallowed grounds." Merylin was quick to cut him off. "Your caution will do no good. I've seen him myself. He's back, and there is more." Merylin then filled them in on what happened and of Arthur's success in pulling the stone from its place. They went silent for a moment. Then Merylin said, "Considering the circumstances, my people thought it would be best to send me to request a meeting of the 2 sons upon the hill."
After his meeting With the Fey Seelie Council of Sages, Merylin began his journey to return to Arthur and the others. He walked through the portal but came out in an area he was not familiar with. He stood in a throne room of shimmering white and gold laced architecture. From all around him there were voices singing of praise to the Almighty. There above the throne came a light so bright, Merylin could not look upon it. From the light stepped two beings. One sat upon the throne who had fire for eyes, and the other stood next to him with a noble authority, and he held a quill and parchment. The paper ran down onto the floor and all the way to Merylin's feet. There at the end of the parchment were words that described Merylin entering this place just moments before. The one who held the parchment set the paper down and spoke. "Greetings, Merylin. Do you know who I am?" Merylin looked confused. "No, sir. Have we met?" Chaos stirred, revealing that this seemed familiar to him. The man with wings and long brown hair said, "I am the warrior from the kingdom of the light, and this is my king. You are in his kingdom now, as we speak." Merylin's jaw hung open in disbelief. "What is it that you want?" Merylin asked. The warrior of the light spoke. "You must return to Arthur and give to him this message. It has to do with the sword he possesses. It is capable of much more than any of you understand. Carved into the hilt are runes that give the wielder of the sword power over the elemental forces. With it he can raise mountains from the earth, part the waters of rivers, cause water to pour forth from stone, call fire down from the skies, even conjure maelstroms. It all depends on the depth of the holder's understand of how the earth works. The more they understand, the greater they are capable of. He will need this knowledge in his battle against Golgothos. Remember these words. He may not adhere to the laws of kings, but he will obey the laws of the earth which his feet stand upon. Do you understand, Merylin? Also, your father Morlock says begrudgingly that he's proud of you. He just never had the chance to tell you. The one upon the throne spoke with a sound like 1,000 raging waters. Go now, Malek, son of Grey Tree of Thrislin, my vessel shall come to appear before Arthur, and give to him a code of virtues that men should live by, that will bring peace and prosperity to the lands. It is my gift to your people, but tell your elders that my warrior is very precious to me, and I cannot part with him. I shall send what help I can to them, though, as a show of my alliance with them. When I am displeased and the alliance is fragile, my gifts will begin to leave their lands until the alliance is secure again." The warrior of light spoke. "So it is commanded. So shall it be obeyed. Fair journeys to you, Merylin." And the warrior picked up his quill and parchment and began writing again as Merylin vanished in a blur of colors and suddenly was standing at the edge of Aliana's mystical forest.
Merylin walked into the forest glen and yelled for Aliana Arthur. Watched her change from within her house, from the old crone image to a long, blonde-haired woman with streaks of light that seemed to come from her back, that were shaped like wings. She had an awfully close resemblance to Gadriel. She flew out the door to Merylin. "Malek, you're back, my love." She paused for a moment. "Malek, what had happened? I can say your name and express my love to you again." Malek walked up to her and held her tight. "I've waited so long for this moment again." He proclaimed as if overjoyed with happiness. He then paused for a moment before speaking, as if to take in all that had happened. "Something amazing has happened. The Council of Innisland has rescinded my exiled status and made me an envoy to the Seelie Council. I was tasked with reporting the situation to them." She stood with a look of shock that explains why I am no longer bound to that ghastly old woman form any longer. "Did you speak with my father?" She asked hesitantly. "Yes, I did. I respectfully gave him a piece of my mind and silenced his dismissal of the urgency of the situation." Pan looked upon them with kind eyes. "Aye, it is good to see such rewards given so early in a hard journey we must face." He said with glee in his tone, Merylin then said, "There is more. I've seen the warrior of light. I just came from the kingdom he hails from." With those words, Pan spat the food he was chewing on out, horse manure and poppycock.
you saw the warrior of the light with your own eyes? Pan asked, baffled. I saw more than him. I saw the king who he serves. A great man upon a throne with blazing eyes and a voice like 100 thunderclaps. They both gave me instructions on both the sword and its true power. He also gave to me a message to give to Arthur. The king of the kingdom of light wishes to make an alliance with you, and said he shall send the warrior with instructions to how people shall live that will bring peace and prosperity to the lands. Merylin took Arthur and said, "Come, boy, we have much to do and you have much to learn." After that, Arthur began training in magic focused through the sword's runes, even with Pan and Aliana help. Hiding this immense power from being detected was difficult. They sat around the campfire one night talking about the challenges they faced ahead. Not only did they have the task of defeating Golgoths, but Arthur needed an army to stand against the dark hordes of the Tuath Dudanan. Suddenly there was a great light that shone down upon them from above, and a tall, noble-looking man with short blonde hair rode out from the light on a great white horse. Pan could not believe his eyes. It was impossible. He first spoke softly. "Papa, is that you?" The man glanced over at Pan and quickly smiled, just slightly from the corner of his mouth. "Samjaza, is that you beneath all that hoof and horn? What did you get yourself into now to be turned into something like that now?" Pan looked down. He never could lie to his father. "I tried to steal something that wasn't mine, Papa. The man changed me into this out of punishment." Pan looked at his friends and said, "This is my papa, Samael." The man looked over at his friends and greeted them warmly. "Good day to you. If my son says you are his friends, then so am I. You must be the one called Arthur." Samael said with the utmost respect in his tone, "I have come to bring to you guidance from the warrior of the light. He says to muster an army, Arthur. You must go and search the land for 12 men. Each one shall hold a heart of belief in ways that are just and true. These ways are described by what is written upon this shield." And Samael reached behind him and pulled a crested shield from beneath his cloak he was wearing. "These are the divine virtues, beliefs, or living habits that one should build himself to uphold as right and true in all he does. They are truth, honor, chastity, love, faith, courage, generosity, justice, patience, temperance, forgiveness, and valor. Remember these words and hold them as true, and your kingdom will flourish with peace and prosperity. Another shall come to explain more when your tables of councils have no corners. You will understand when the time comes for it to be." Samael looked at Pan and said, "I'll be watching, boy. This quest you are on with these friends, it makes me smile. I knew you would grow into a man one day I would be proud of. And here we are." Samael looked to Arthur. "Fair journeys to you, Arthur. May we meet again one day." And with that, the angel faded into the background and vanished. Pan looked as though there was a tear in his eye. "Goodbye, father." He looked at his companions and said, "I haven't seen him in 300 million years."